The time has finally came. We are able to utilize a DW Fearn VT-5 tube equalizer with a DW Fearn VT-7 tube compressor in the box. So I've already done a video on the VT-5, and I really love mixing with Mike's video on the VT-7. I think that's a really great video to watch to understand the ins and outs, the technical aspect of it. I just really want to show you guys really fast how I've been using these while I've been trialing this plugin for the last week or so, whenever it came out. And so all I have on the master bus, everything goes to the stereo bus, which is just the spec craft. The God particle is disabled, right? And then the only thing I have on here is the Ruby 2, which is the VT-5 from Acustica, and then the DW Fearn VT-7, which is from MixWave. I already have everything matched to 4.3 with the plugin on and off, so everything you guys are going to hear is going to be level matched to the peak level. All right, so I'm just going to play this little excerpt. This is from a session I did earlier, or last week, a couple days ago, whatever. It's not mixed, and I'm just going to show you guys how I'm using both of these on the master bus. All right, here we go.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat, cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own, ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want, I'm making plays off this phone. No How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat, cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own, ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want, I'm making plays off this phone. No How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat, cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own, ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want, I'm making plays off this phone.
Okay, so very transparent, but also, in my opinion, a very big difference, right? So when it comes to mastering grade equipment, you always hear the term transparent. And if you're kind of new to the audio engineering and stuff, when people say transparent, it is transparent, but there are different colors of transparency in the audio world when it comes to gear. And the color that DW Fearn provides, I really like it. So these are tubes, a bunch of tubes and transformers in both of these. And why I also like this lineup, because it feels like a modern version of the Pultec and Fairchild. You know, you always hear about the Pultec and the Fairchild, especially on stereo bus, and what the magic that those pieces have. Like the holy grail of EQ, the holy grail of compression, it's the Pultec and the Fairchild, right? So I think what DW Fearn did here with these two pieces, and then obviously Acustica and MixWave, bringing them into the software realm, is really dope. So when you think of the Pultec and you think of like a Fairchild, which to say they're not exactly the same, but they do share a lot of similarities. When I think of those two, one of the big things is the box tone. Like you've heard stories, like if you just drop a Pultec on the mix, don't even touch anything, or just drop a Fairchild, right? Like casually, just drop a Fairchild on the mix and not do any gain reduction. Just the magic of running through the tubes, the transformers, and just all of that. So that's what I excuse me, that's what I want to do here on this demonstration as well, just so you guys can kind of hear what's happening just by having the plugins, or just by having these things engaged. We're going to zero out everything. Okay. So let's zero out let's put everything back to stock, or wherever it was when we first got it. All right. And let's just make sure that it's level matched real fast.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat, cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own, ain't no nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. No
Okay, so it is negative 0.3 louder. So I'm just gonna, bam. I love MixWave's update, being able to just know the actual number and not the scale thing that they
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own.
Cool, level match. So now what we're gonna go through and do is we're just gonna bring it in and out. So we have the preamp engaged on the Ruby 2, and then everything is back to factory or regular settings on here. All right, so let's just go through and bring that in and out and see what that sounds like.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone.
Okay, so the thing that I'm definitely hearing is, and this is me from just kind of me knowing it too, the Ruby adds, now actually let me do these individually, then I'll say that.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on.
All right, that's the Ruby. Now let's go and listen to this. All right, let me say that. The Ruby, it adds very much a sense of like, it adds some separation, it adds some sheen, it adds some energy, and has this like nice lift and forwardness that's brought to it with just the preamp engaged. So now let's listen to the box tone of just the VT-7 plugin.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip.
Cool. So with the VT-7, it has more of like a gooey factor to it, and in my ears it widens up the image. It seems almost like it's like somewhere in the mid-range, kind of almost like the lower, not super low mids, but it widens up the image in a specific zone though, and you can hear the cohesion taking place between all the elements, like just bringing it or engaging that plugin. Things are starting to glue together. So my whole idea was, with me understanding the Ruby kind of creates this separation, adds this sheen. Excuse me. It adds that sheen and adds like that organic energy to the song or to the material. I like creating that separation, having that energy, and then bringing the VT-7 in to kind of glue it back together, right? And then obviously, guys, this was just the box tone. I wasn't doing anything with it. So one more time with my changes, and then so with the Ruby, with this being a YouTube beat, I was removing some low end, and I did like a quick little pinch at 20 hertz, a mid cut at 400. I really like the mid cut at 400. And then the high boost, the broad. I like doing it like the widest at the 16K. It just adds this nice air and sparkle. And then you have this high cut at 28K. I had it all the way at 8. So there's that. And then the MixWave. I'm not doing any compression on here. These are the settings that I have. Not special settings. I'm really just kind of kissing the needle, like barely. It's barely touching the gain reduction. Because again, I'm using this more for the box tone. I understand the circuitry, like going from this into that, or at least the plugin. I never used the hardware of either of these. So let's go ahead and play one more time before and after.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold.
See, it sounds like congested and kind of constipated with both of the plugins disengaged, right? And then basically what I'm doing, so with that Ruby, with that low end, I'm cutting some of the low end but adding just a little bit back in this high end boost. These right here are kind of like anchoring the sound low, anchoring the low end a little bit more, cleaning up the low end and then kind of anchoring it again. And then I'm stretching the sound up higher through this boost, but then I'm removing a lot of that gunk. Like what's actually creating the clarity is going to be this mid cut. So I'm anchoring the low end further down. I'm removing that low mid, which is helping the low end articulate better, but also helping this 16K boost sound more drastic because we're removing a lot of just gunk, right? And this is right here, this high cut, it really just helps focus the sound. So that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing there. And this is just kind of catching everything that this is doing and just processing it in a way that it's gluing it back together very organically, very like earthy is what I like about this. So one more time.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone.
Again, now let's focus on the vocals. Listen to the separation, or the just really the environment of the vocals and everything surrounding it before and after.
How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays off this phone. How can you bitches call me broke? Cause I don't spend it on you hoes. Got my gun inside my coat. Cause in these streets it could get cold. I'm getting money on my own. Ain't nobody put me on. Can take a trip when I want. I'm making plays.
And that, guys, is how I use the Acustica Audio Ruby 2, which is the DW Fearn VT-5 stereo or vacuum tube stereo equalizer emulation, and then the MixWave DW Fearn VT-7 vacuum tube compressor amplifier. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Outside of that, y'all be good to yourselves. Watch out.